It's a sweep for the Congress in Karnataka, a mandate that the party itself might not have expected. Currently, the leads are between 125 to 128 at least, giving it a comfortable majority above the halfway mark of 113. The Bharatiya Janata Party, meanwhile, is leading in about 65 to 67 seats. So, the BJP government, as of now, looks like is definitely getting toppled in the state. Meanwhile, the HD Kumaraswamy-led JDS is at the third spot with leads in about 25 to 30 seats, but definitely a loss of few seats from the last time and definitely not the kingmaker that most pollsters predicted them to be. We are joined by our political editor Aditya Menon and principal correspondent Fatima, who was on the ground to cover Karnataka for us. And the very first question I'm going to take is with Aditya. Please tell us, what are the factors that politically worked for Congress? Do you think that the party itself expected a sweep this big?
So DK Shivakumar did predict a tally of 141. So it's still about a few seats short of that tally. But yeah, what worked in favor of the Congress? They ran a seamless campaign. I think the narrative with the state was clear. Their guarantees and welfare schemes was their main pitch. 40% Sarkara was their pitch against the BJP. Siddaramaiah's social coalition, DK Shivakumar's leadership. So they sort of combined these factors and they led a very, very competent campaign in the state. That was Congress's pitch. The BJP's was a bit confused. They did a little bit of Hindutva, a little bit of Bajrangbali, little bit they tried to do the reservation. They tried to do the social engineering, giving reservation to Panchamasali, Lingayats. It didn't sort of come together for the BJP. And on the other hand, the Congress, I think, is reaping the dividends of running a very, very clear campaign with a very, very clear narrative.
A clear campaign, clear narrative, one of the key political factors that worked for the party in Karnataka. Did you get a sense that the sweep for the Congress is going to be this big?
I mean, it did become clear that there is a strong anti-incumbency. There are voters who have been, hardcore BJP supporters for several years, but this time around they said that, look, no, we think that we are going to vote for the Congress. We are not happy with the way this government has functioned. There has been great instability. The chief minister was widely unpopular. And there was also this sense that at some level, the government might be taking us for granted because till the very last minute, it wasn't clear what the BJP's agenda is, what they are setting out to promise to the electorate. Whereas the Congress this time around, they really turned a corner, right? Like for months ahead, they had planned. There was a very clear direction given to the top leadership that you have to hold your own, even though there was speculation that the infighting between DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah might lead to some kind of public confrontation of sorts, like we've seen happen in the Congress amongst in other states. But this time around, nothing of that sort happened. They managed to keep their flock together. The ship was a sail and everything was running very smoothly. More importantly, the Congress was able to identify what are the issues that people care about. Of course, people care about the fact that corruption was a huge matter in the state. And like I said, it was unprecedented in a way that in the last couple of years, no state election has very clearly been fought on the issue of corruption as it was here. The 40% Sarkara issue became a very widespread slogan across the state. It is something that was initially brought up by apolitical players like, say, the Karnataka's Contractors Association, but the Congress came in and ran with it. More importantly, they also understood how to manage all the various castes and subcastes and minority groups, how to ensure that they managed to give equal number of tickets and representation spread across all these caste groups. So that social engineering combined with the anti-incumbency, combined with hitting out at the BJP on the corruption front, I think all of these served the Congress really well.
One of the key factors that Prime Minister Narendra Modi used to speak about in the election rallies was how the Congress, state after state, is a divided house. With whatever is happening in Rajasthan between Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot, similar story was playing out in Karnataka for months ahead of the elections between Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar. But towards the end, what was a clear display of ironing out issues was very well handled by the Congress. But that now begs the question, who is going to be the next chief minister? Is it Siddaramaiah or is it DK Shivakumar? Aditya, what do you think and what is going to work in whose favor in this case?
See, There's no doubt. Siddaramaiah is the tallest mass leader in Karnataka right now, especially after B.S. Yediyurappa retired from politics. Each and every exit poll, each and every opinion poll has said that Siddaramaiah is the top choice as chief minister, not just in the Congress but across parties. He also represents the Congress's social coalition of minorities, backward castes, and Lingayats. So, in that sense, Siddaramaiah would be a natural choice. But on the other hand, DK Shivakumar has worked extremely hard in the last 3 years. He took over at a time when the Congress won just one Lok Sabha seat. And that too, it was DK Shivakumar's own brother winning from the Bangalore rural constituency. Then the Congress lost a series of by-polls. So it was a series of defeats after which DK Shivakumar took the party. He was a 24/7 Pradesh Congress chief. He led a number of marches. Despite arrest, despite raids, he sort of held the ship in a very efficient manner. So DK Shivakumar also will have his stake. There are three possibilities. The first is that the Congress gives it to Siddaramaiah for now because he's the senior most leader and also a mass leader. Second possibility, Congress reaches out to MLAs. MLAs choose Shivakumar and the Congress gives it to Shivakumar. The third possibility, we can't rule it out. Siddaramaiah and Shivakumar become CM for 2.5 years each. So yeah, these are three main possibilities. The CLP meeting is tomorrow. A lot of work that the Congress in charge, Randeep Surjewala, will have to do along with central observers. And then of course, Mallikarjun Kharge, the new Congress president, it's his home state. He'll also be naturally having a great say in what happens next.
So it remains to be seen who the Congress chooses as the next chief minister, whether it is going to be Siddaramaiah, DK Shivakumar, or a seat-sharing arrangement. But before that, let me also tell you that the Congress has already called all its leading MLAs, all its leading candidates in Bengaluru in order to, rule out any possibility of any kind of horse trading, any kind of jumping ship that might be a possibility for a few of the candidates. But for now, with the kind of leads that are coming in, the position of the party looks steadfast. We are going to go back to Fatima to ask what exactly did you get from the people in terms of not working for the BJP? What went against the BJP when it came to people's issues when you were on the ground?
I think a couple of things. For one, the fact is that ultimately even people who were supporting, say, the Hindutva politics of the BJP, after a while they were asking, okay, but what do we stand to gain? For example, things like the corruption issue, things like, say, people who are working in the Contractors Association, things like price rise, they uniformly affect people across the state, right? But the fact of the matter also is that Karnataka is one state which has repeatedly been called the laboratory of Hindutva in South India. It has been pegged as the one state with which the BJP will be able to enter South India at a more widespread scale. Given all of that, people were expecting this increased, incredible level of communalism that we have seen in the state in the last 2.5, 3 years. Say it from hijab ban to halal meat politics to the propaganda and the boycott of Muslim vendors. All of those things were, of course, playing an important role. But the state and the civil society of the state, and that's something that we've covered in one of our ground reports also, how the civil society came together, how people who weren't in line with that communal politics, they came together and they said that, look, this isn't something that will work in Karnataka. We'll stand against this brand of politics. This isn't to say that there is no communalism in Karnataka. That would be a lie. Of course, communalism has worked on the ground in several areas, even in this election. But that is not to say that people haven't resisted it, which is something that we haven't seen in a UP or a Gujarat, the way that people have managed to come together. And of course, it isn't just about fighting hate, right? That is a slightly romanticized notion of how we tend to look at politics, but it's also about self-interest. Sure, all of this hateful politics is playing some sort of a role in Karnataka at a state level, but what do we stand to gain is a question that a lot of hardcore BJP voters and supporters also asked. There was this tendency that we've also seen in a place like Delhi, for example, where they're like, okay, we love Modi and we continue to support him at the national level, but at the state level, we're not really happy with the state leadership, which is the most important point. The BJP did not have a strong state leadership this time at all, which I think is what drastically backfired.
What do you think politically went against the BJP to an extent where it lost over 50 seats in the state?
I was just going through the comments that are coming in on our live, and there's a comment by a gentleman called Vasant Kumar. He's saying Nandini, the Queen of Karnataka. It was a very important comment regarding your question, because what was the Nandini issue? It was the local milk brand that Karnataka's felt was under threat due to the entry of Amul. I think that's what went wrong. The BJP, they sort of lost track of the state level narrative, and they thought that Modi and the Modi factor will sort of see them through this election. They replaced a very popular sitting chief minister, B.S. Yediyurappa, replaced him with Basavaraj Bommai, who's a political lightweight, though from the same Lingayat community. But Bommai didn't have the kind of the political heft to run the administration. Most people said that he is unable to implement the welfare schemes of either the previous Congress government or even the Yediyurappa's own welfare schemes. So Bommai sort of lost track of the administration. The BJP, there were many who accused BL Santosh, the General Secretary organization of the National BJP, of sort of running Karnataka by remote control. So Bommai was never given a free hand. I think this sort of wasn't appreciated by the people of Karnataka, who wanted a government that put Karnataka's interests first, especially poorer voters, rural voters, who wanted those health welfare schemes, who really, that last mile delivery really mattered to those people. I think BJP sort of messed up that part.
I have one more question for each one of you, which goes beyond Karnataka, considering the results that have come in. Where do you see an impact of this result on the assembly elections? Do you see an impact on the assembly elections at all? Or like we have seen in all previous elections and all previous trends, that the choice that people make when it comes to assembly elections and Lok Sabha elections tends to be different?
So we need to be a little cautious in reading some very grand national picture from this result, because let's just take Karnataka's example. Congress swept into power in 2013 with a majority winning 122 seats. BJP, when the Lok Sabha elections came, BJP won 18 out of 28 seats. Then again, Congress and JDS formed a government in 2018, but BJP won 25 out of 28 seats. Nationally, BJP will be at an advantage. There are voters who think that while they voted for Congress at the state level, they said that they would still vote for Narendra Modi at the national level. So yes, there will be some split voting will happen. But for the Congress, this is an important win. They have won a very big state, a very resource-rich state. So a lot of Congress's woes at the central level will be addressed by this. It has strengthened Mallikarjun Kharge's position because he's sort of carried his home state, and no one is now going to call him a lame duck president or a weak president or a president who's just a rubber stamp. He's sort of delivered this victory. He stuck his neck out. He attacked Narendra Modi in the campaign. Congress, there's some very big advantages for the Congress from this election. So those will obviously carry forward for the national election as well.
And Fatima, same question for you goes a question for you goes beyond Karnataka, because you closely watch the Congress for us. Considering what is currently unfolding in Rajasthan, and considering the state is going to elections in a few months, the way the crisis in Karnataka was handled, are there any lessons for the central leadership when it comes to two tall leaders taking on each other in a particular state?
Yeah. So one, I think the importance of Karnataka at the national level cannot be understated either, right? There's a reason why you saw the level of desperation you saw from the BJP in the last 2 weeks. Prime Minister Modi holding the number of rallies that he did every day, traversing throughout the length and breadth of Karnataka. There was the sense that, look, we have to come out all guns blazing, because obviously the party knows more than most exit pollsters do even, that look, we might be losing this. This might be getting out of hand. And Karnataka is a very important state ahead of the 2024 elections. The BJP knows it, the Congress knows it, which is why it is a very important state election. That being said, the fact that Congress has won here, I think more than at a national level, it's something that the party needs to internalize, and it's a self-reflection mode that they will go into now. I find it. I'm slightly cautious of comparing two states like Rajasthan and Karnataka. They've had different histories, right? they've also the two political players that we're talking about in Rajasthan, Pilot and Gehlot. They themselves have had a different kind of tussle where someone has been repeatedly been promised something, kept in waiting, someone who's a very tall leader but has also a very grand ego. All those factors need to be considered. Something that is largely a miss from Karnataka in this setting as of now. But then again, the fact is that these two leaders, they managed to hold it together because they knew that ultimately either of us will only become chief minister if the party wins, right? That clarity of mind, that realization needs to come from within, and that is something they managed to do fairly well. And the fact is that the state leadership coming together in the way they did was possible because the central leadership said that, look, we've done our bit, now it's up to you. For the last month, it's mostly them who took the whole thing forward. From Mallikarjun Kharge, who is a national leader now, but the fact is that he continues to be a mass leader in the state. So he was given a large chunk of the responsibility. Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar were told very strictly that you need to hold this together in order for us to cross the halfway mark, and they did that splendidly well. But ultimately, Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi also kind of losing the reins and said that you take care of it from now, you got this, similar to what we saw happening in Himachal Pradesh. So I think more than that is just a lesson in understanding that fine, Modi is someone we might not be able to touch right now, but state per state, we might be able to make some inroads in defeating BJP.
So for the Congress, it's a big day. A victory in a state like Karnataka, a sweeping victory, toppling off a very, very strong BJP government that was there. What remains to be seen is who is going to become the chief minister, what happens next within the Congress party. The MLAs, the candidates, leading candidates have been called to Bengaluru already. The CLP meeting is scheduled for tomorrow. All updates are being covered on the Quint and Quint's website via live blogs, analysis, videos, reels and shots. We are going to get you 360 coverage in multimedia format of Karnataka Assembly election results. So visit the Quint's website, become a member and get access to not just our entire Karnataka coverage, but all the analysis and opinions and tangents that are being drawn from this victory for the Congress. Stay tuned to the Quint and Quint Hindi.